Hello everyone, I'm Joseph James, singer, songwriter, author, and a bunch of other labels. I just wanted to share with my friends, family, and fan base what we're fixing to do. Next year, we start our America Dare to Dream tour, and we're coupling it with our USA Dreamers Inc. task force. Next year is a very serious year in our country. We face an election year. We face a year where it seems like everything's falling apart nationally, and we can do something about that. We the people. It doesn't matter what those around us are doing. We're Americans, and we can change things. I've been driving for Lyft here now since January. I've had over 4,000 people in my car, and I've done over 3,000 rides. And I've talked to people from around the world. I've talked to people who have immigrated here legally. And I've talked to rich and poor, homeless, those on every end of the spectrum, in all cultures. I've talked to people from other countries, like Africa, South Africa, Cameroon, Zimbabwe, Europe, Ireland, Portugal, and places there, Russia, China. And people tell me, those that have come here and experienced our freedom, and they told me, they said, you know what? We don't have any concept of what American freedom is until we come here and experience it. You see, our First Amendment, our right to free speech, is the essence of the whole Constitution. And they don't understand how we can say what we say. But see, it's our right. And so, in this, I'm starting a grassroots movement across the country. We're going to be going to county fairs and to other venues. And it's not just me. I want to get people involved. You see, everybody has a dream. And it's that dream which sparks the hope in our hearts and helps us to continue on. But I talk to so many people that have lost hope. They've lost their dream. They're in a state of depression and hopelessness. This is America, where dreams come true. That's the main line in the chorus of my new song, Dare to Dream. It's patriotic. We have the lyric video out. The music video will feature a duet with me and Will Atkins. He had his own rock band in Dallas back in the 80s. I met Will about 6 years ago here in Colorado Springs, and so we've known each other for a while, and we're putting this all together. The new music video is going to feature some special shots. It has an instrumental of the Star Spangled Banner and America the Beautiful. And as I shared it with some people, somebody told me that it was actually written on Pikes Peak, America the Beautiful. And so we drove up there and we filmed some shots from up there. In May, the stealth bomber went overhead and turned sideways against the clouds. And so we're going to put that in with the Star Spangled Banner.
This is America, where dreams come true. This is America, home of the red, white, and blue. This is America, where freedoms ring. This is America, where we dare to dream.
Dare to Dream is a patriotic song, and I'm so excited about it because it tells about who we are. It reminds us who we are as a nation, but more importantly, it reminds us who we are as Americans. And the main line in the chorus is, this is America, where we dare to dream. And so we're starting the tour sometime around spring next year. And I want to be able to sing this song in Washington, D.C. And you know what? I don't even care if it's on a sidewalk with my guitar, because I want to proclaim it over this nation. The words, hey, this is America. You know, we come together as a country when catastrophes happen. Why can't we do that on a daily basis? Why can't we just smile at people and open a door and bless them and say, I hope you have a good day. You know, is there anything I can do to help? Or seeing somebody struggling and walking over and asking them if they need help. This is who America is. We've always risen to the challenges. We've always risen to the threats that have come against our country. And I talk to so many soldiers here in Colorado Springs. I go onto the bases. I tell them that, you know, you're going out, you're protecting our country. You're putting your lives at risk. And what a sad day it would be if you came home and this country has fallen from within. Because we don't care enough anymore to sit down and talk with each other instead of pointing the blame, pointing the hate, calling it this and calling it that and bullying and saying, hey, you can't say that because that's the wrong terminology. You know, our freedom of speech is precious. I may not like what you have to say. I may not even like the way you say it. And you might not like what I say and the way I say it. But you know what? You and I have the right to talk the way we want to. Now, it would be nice if we respected others and honored everybody, and especially those in our presence, and we adapt our speech to be gentle and loving and kind. But you still have a right to say what you want to say. And that is the essence of freedom of speech. And any means to come against that cuts the whole First Amendment, which is the basis of the rest of the Constitution. So next year, we're going to be going out wherever we're invited. If the funds come in, we're going to pick some places. I'd like to really go to a lot of county fairs, do some home shows, churches, organizations that reach out to vets and those that are struggling with suicide and hopelessness. Big venues, small venues, hey, I don't care. But see, this tour is not about me. This tour is about America. This tour is about you. We belong to a network of performers across the country. And when we set up the stage, we want other performers to come that will audition and make sure that what they have to share is in line with what we're wanting to promote. And then we want them to share their comedy, their music, their dance, maybe a short acting, and then talk a little bit about their dreams, where they want to go. See, we have this stigma in America that you have to be a superstar to make a difference. And no, you don't. Each one of us has a story to share. Each one of us has a talent and a gift. It may not be as showy, but I can guarantee you, whatever your realm of influence is, that's where you need to shine. I've written a new book in May called Dreamers, Inc. And it's because of all the conversations I've had in my lift car. I've had 22 people on the edge of suicide just since January. And I've had to talk to them and try to encourage them and try to get them out of this pit that they're in. You see, when you're in this place, it's hard to get out of it. I've been there. And you think the whole world is caving in and crashing in. And this book is a compilation of years of counseling and ministry, of talking to people who have lost loved ones to suicide, of talking to people who are so down they can't seem to get back up, of personally struggling with this myself. And my wife's story, which I wrote in 2011 and published it, Sentence to Death, Destined for Life. It's a story of a woman going down into the depths of despair, and yet a loving God at the end of it who pulls her out with numerous miracles. I have never read a story like this, much less seen anything else like it, but I got to be a part of the end result of it, of watching her blossom. And I've written a screenplay. We're going to turn it into a movie. So on the tour, we're going to have performer friends of ours that are going to share their parts. See, we don't have to be superstars to make a difference. Each one of you are a superstar in those that you're around. And so with the Dreamers Inc. book, there's a study guide in the back, and I share different stories. I share about dreams. There are no dead-end jobs that we have. You know, I don't believe in broken dreams. You know, I believe dreams are flexible. And I'll put a study guide in the back with many questions for each chapter. It is my hope that since we have established the USA Dreamers Inc. Task Force, that as I'm holding meetings here in Colorado Springs and as we're touring, that we can encourage people to form their own groups, either with your family or your friends or those in your community, and gather together. Start listening to each other's dreams, because you know what? We might be connected together. I might be able to help somebody who is sharing their dream, and maybe I have a connection to somebody that can get them the funds they need or help them get to a place that they need to go. But you know what? If I don't know what their dream is, there's no way I can help them. And it's time that we start caring about each other, that we start reaching out beyond where we are, because we're so independent here. We got to do it on our own. No, God made us interdependent. We all need each other. We're all here on this earth, in this particular place, in this time, to make this world a better place. But if we allow the enemy to come in and all we do is attack each other, it's just going to destroy everything. So this tour is about music. We have a theatrical production we're going to put together when the funds become available to take a portable stage around and a cast. We'll have comedians get up. We'll have those of you who are great at dance. You know, those of you who have maybe some little scripts to act out that'll impact somebody out there. And we're here to show each community that, hey, we're not what the media says. We're not all violent. We're not all bad. There's lots of good people out there. And you know what? A lot of those who are in that place right now, they're in that place because they've been hurt. They're holding bitterness. They're holding judgment. They don't know how to let it out. But you know what? If we start talking to each other, if the only thing we can talk about is freedom, we can agree on that, right? I mean, it's the basis of our country. I want to leave you with one last thing, and one of the main reasons that I want to go on tour next year. And that is because of our suicide rate. Never has there been a time that it's been so high. And our people are taking themselves out for little things, but in the moment, they seem like they're crushing. And, you know, I talk about Pikes Peak a lot here because you can see it when the sun's shining in its brilliance and majesty, but when the storms come over it, you can't see it anymore. It doesn't mean that it's not there, it's just that there's a temporary storm over it. And that's the way it is with our dreams. Sometimes we can't see them, sometimes it seems impossible, and we want to give up. But it's only a temporary storm. Even hurricanes, as big and as violent as they are, they pass through. They never stop forever. It's never hopeless. Sometimes we need to pick up some pieces. Sometimes some areas in our heart we need to rebuild. And sometimes these storms expose those areas where we're vulnerable and weak. And if we're smart, we'll take the time and we'll bring the healing. Maybe we've judged somebody wrongly and it's really affecting us. Forgiveness. But know this. Know that you are loved by somebody. Know that your life influences those around you. When I was in sales, they told me every individual knows 200 other people and influences them directly by them just living and breathing. If you take yourself out, you're affecting all those lives. You know, I had a young man I talked to. He got out of the car with his buddy, and before he got into mine, they hugged and they were laughing. He got into my car and he said, "I'm taking myself out." I'm like, "Why?" He told me, and it was no big deal, but you know what? If people found out about what he did, he's no longer perfect. He's no longer measuring up to this perfect individual that he can never be. You know, none of us can be perfect. We all have weaknesses. God designed it that way so that we'll reach out to those who can help us. See, we can help those who are weak in areas that we're strong in, and vice versa. And then we can lock hands and arms, and we're a formidable force. Because as we're a group together, we can help each other. Everybody has a dream that's interconnected with everybody else. It's like having this giant puzzle that we're putting together. And we work on section by section. You know, we find these little pieces that look like they all fit together. And each one can only fit where it belongs. But as we fit and we join together, it strengthens the puzzle and it's all tight together. And then it makes this magnificent masterpiece. And that's what God has designed for our generation. What is our generation? What's it going to be seen in history? What kind of a picture are we putting together? One of violence and destruction, or one of love and caring for one another and reaching our country and reaching our world and spreading freedom? You know, this guy that got in my car, I had 12 minutes to talk to him. And I told him, I said, "Okay, in the morning, your friend is going to ask why." And I said, "You know what? You're going to want to tell him why, but you can't because you're dead." Then I told him the next thing that's going to happen is your friend's going to start blaming himself because he didn't see it. He wasn't there for you. He didn't try and stop you. And you know what? You're going to want to tell him, "Hey, it wasn't your fault." But you can't. And then you're going to watch him go through life and watch his life just disintegrate because he can't get over it. And you're going to want to help him, and you're watching helplessly from wherever you are. And I said, then take that life and multiply it by your family and your other friends and those that you work with. Is that what you want? And it shook him. Because see, when people are in that place, sometimes there's demonic stuff over them too, a demonic oppression, and they just can't see. And I've had many people tell me, "Well, I can't understand why they're going through it." No, you can't. Not until you're in it. But we need to be there for each other. You see, we all have a purpose. We all have a destiny. And Father's written a dream for each of our lives, and it is a wonderful dream. He said his thoughts towards us are wonderful, and they outnumber the sand. Psalm 139. How long would it take for you to sit there with Father and ask him, "Hey, what are all those wonderful thoughts you have for me?" See, we can ask him every morning, and he'll start talking to us. He'll start showing us in the little things throughout the day even. But that's what this tour is about. It's about hope. It's about freedom. It's about love. It's about helping each other pursue our dreams so that we can connect together and make this a wonderful world that we live in. Now, we can believe in hope or we can believe in hopelessness. It's your choice. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he had a dream. He changed generations. How much more so with me and you and others across this country? We get together, we come together when we're threatened from outside. How about from inside? How about we start taking time and really listen to each other's heart? Not necessarily the perfection in the words they're using or their inflections, but how about we look and see if we can see what their heart is. Are they screaming out in pain? Are they crying out because they've been hurt and they don't want to be hurt anymore? Come on, folks. This is America. Let's dare to dream. I'll see you on tour. God bless you. Have a great day.